As a tourist destination, Barbados has always been known for its pristine white beaches, clear blue seas, and a wonderful place to just relax. However, in the past few months, the beaches have been engulfed by Sargassam seaweed. We're not sure where it's come from, but we know it's had a great impact on Barbadians and tourists alike. I'm Katrina Marshall, and on this week's edition of Across Country, we're going to take a tour of some of the beaches that have been affected by this influx of Sargassam seaweed. How do we fix the problem? My first stop was the popular Browns Beach, where three athletic young ladies were having less than a great time on their standard Saturday line.
Oh yeah, we lived down in Surfers Bay and we combed up the entire south coast trying to find a beach that didn't have a lot of sargassum, and this was the best we could find.
That's the best you could find?
Okay. I recognize that and I know that it's good for the marine environment, but it's bad for tourism and it's bad for us as residents who this is where we, enjoy our free time, it's where we exercise.
But their friend Jackie sees the sargassum influx as an opportunity for research being squandered.
You know what, my feelings aren't so much about my personal comfort. My feelings are more about the continued negligence of it as an issue. I've spoken to guests, I've met guests who have actually left because their dream holiday's been spoilt in their dream vacation spot. And I think in the world of Instagram and immediate reports, it should be managed. It is an issue that should be handled and managed. It's a PR travesty, and I think from a marine point of view, absolutely, I understand its goal, but we're not doing anything with the gold that the sea's given us.
But the question is, though, we don't know where it's come from and why it's here, so how do we deal with the after effects?
We use the wonderful marine biologists that we have right here at UWE. This is a project. There should be interns all over the beach. They should be publishing this. I just don't understand.
Shelley Mahey and her family have been coming to Browns Beach for ages. And while she admits it's an irritant, she believes nature should be able to take its course.
Getting into the sea and trying to wade through the seaweed whilst holding him is the biggest annoyance, because I feel these things wrapping around my legs. And I'm trying to hold him, and I'm trying to squirm, get away, run.
But you're still here, though.
I am, because it's beach day. So I have to do what I can, and at the end of the day, we can't fight nature. So as much as it is annoying, we still have to, if we want to enjoy the beach, we have to take the beach as it comes. Whether the tide is high, whether the seaweed is in, basically have to just roll with the tide, no pun intended.
It's a very grown-up way of thinking of it. So you're not a great fan of tractors on the beach shoving it off to one side for the tourists?
The problem with the tractors shoveling it off is that it goes into mounds, and the mounds deteriorate with the sun, and then it smells horrible.
Lifeguards view the sea with different eyes from you and me, and the one I spoke to was quite camera shy, but very astute in his observations about the effects of this mysterious weed.
Actually, when I first saw it, I saw little patches all the time. Actually, it's mostly increasing. And actually, for today, as you can see today, this is the first time I ever saw it this year. Like this year, this is the worst time since the seaweed coming in. This is the worst time I ever saw it. As you cannot see, but some is very underneath the sand already. Also, as you see, literally how it coming in here. So at the end here, you see how it coming in. It's changing because sometimes the sea usually comes further in.
Right.
But no, the sea cannot go past the way because it's that thick.
Right.
So the sea can only stand where as far as it can go.
Next stop, Hastings Rocks. And it wasn't the feel of the seaweed, but the scent that put people off.
Well, for one, the scent is a little off, the scenery is still beautiful, but it still is an eyesore to see the Sargassum along the boardwalk, I know they've been doing some work to clean it up, but it still needs a lot to be done. Because if you look, usually here is very busy on a Saturday evening or even on a weekend, and there's scarcely anyone around.
So what do you think some of the solutions could be? We can't always wait on government. Some of us have to mobilize in the community.
I agree. Volunteer groups. You can even get the kids involved. Of course, every effort is costly, But I mean, if it is a volunteer and a community effort, I mean, because the boardwalk is used by everyone, I mean, maybe a team, I know there are other groups that are cleaning up other parts of the country. Maybe we should establish more along the southeast coast here, a little bit more to clean up some of this. I mean, because it's not going away anytime soon.
If you look closely, even this part of the man-made walkway has been overrun by seaweed. This segment is still quite open to surf and moving water. There are crabs, there's small organisms that have found life in here. It's good for the environment, but at what cost? It makes me wonder just how long it's going to take before those who enjoyed walking along this boardwalk will no longer have these steps as an access point. It's this innocuous looking seaweed that's causing so much confusion and completely changing the coastal landscape of Barbados. This week on Across Country, I've been up and down the south coast, checking to see how people on land and those who enjoy the sea have been affected by the Sargassam seaweed. Join me next week for another Across Country where we take a look at Sargassam seaweed, the West Coast version. I'm Katrina Marshall. See you then.